Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or whenever you listen to this recording. For me right now, it is the afternoon. This is another episode of Goober Philosophy. I am your host. To reveal that later, I'm not sharing my name right now, but I am your host, the Goober Philosopher. And it's pretty fucking cold where I live right now, which is on the East Coast of the United States. Go America. But yeah, it's colder here, at least it was yesterday, than it was in Moscow, Russia, that is. So it's pretty fucking cold. The windshield, I mean, the windshield is negative, and the temperature is single digits, which is colder by a long shot than Chicago is right now. So yeah, walking my dog today, not my favorite moment of the day, neither for him or me. He is actually the mascot of this channel, wherever the fuck this is. So that he's like a labradoodle. He's a poodle mixed with a Labrador and a little bit of an Irish setter. So, anyways, he doesn't like the weather. I don't like the weather. No one likes this weather, but today is a special day, not because of the weather, but today, as I record this, is February 8th. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the next Super Bowl for today. Hasn't started yet, but today is Super Bowl Sunday. And in case you don't know anything about the Super Bowl, which I find amazing that you can call yourself a United States citizen and not know about the Super Bowl. This is a holiday event. It's not quite Christmas, but it's pretty close. The Super Bowl for me has been integral into my social life. It has really, to me, it's one of the best days each year. Unfortunately, for this year, the halftime show is getting way more attention than the actual game because the teams are a little boring. I mean, look, I get it. Not everyone's going to be a fan of the teams in the Super Bowl, but I just feel like this year has been kind of just like a meh kind of season across the board. There hasn't been. I've watched a lot of NFL games this season. I can't say I watched all of them, but like I can't think of one game this year that really was amazing to watch. Usually throughout the years, there's one game everyone talks about being the best game of the year. I haven't heard anyone discuss that. I listen to like sports talk radio. There hasn't been one game this year that was like a huge shootout where both teams come in with high-powered offenses, scoring 40-plus points. Throughout the years, I've seen a game like that at least once a year. Can't recall of one this year. Big reveal here. I'm an Eagles fan. Unfortunately, this year the Eagles had an excellent defense and a lackluster offense. So, yeah, I mean, not the biggest marketing game for the Super Bowl. So I think that's why the halftime show is getting more and more attention as we get closer to the 6:30 kickoff Eastern time. So how do I feel about the halftime show? I'm going to be honest. I feel the same way about the halftime show this year as I feel about every year with the halftime show, which is I don't give a shit about the fucking halftime show. If you are watching the Super Bowl for the halftime show, the NFL failed its viewers and failed you as a football fan because we really should be talking about the football game, but we're not, and we're talking about the halftime show. And on top of all that, because the controversy surrounding the main artist, Bad Bunny, for the halftime show, there is an alternative halftime show. Oh my God. So now, not only are we talking about the halftime show, but we're talking about the alternative halftime show, which for the life of me, I can't remember another time in my life where there was two halftime shows competing against each other. Like, this is now the competition of halftime shows and not the Seahawks and the Patriots. So here we go. We're now, this is the Super Bowl of the halftime battle. So Bad Bunny is the main liner for the Super Bowl whoop-de-fucking-do. And then the alternative one I heard is like Kid Rock and some country singer I never fucking listened to. I guess if you watch one versus the other, you're making a political statement. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But I want to get back into the Super Bowl. I guess this was also a halftime situation, but I remember being a child when the Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson halftime show happened. That was so fucking funny. For those that don't know about that halftime show, there was a nip slip, like the most famous nip slip. It made it into the Guinness Book of World Records for one of those years that they recorded this stuff. Like, it was one of the biggest controversies during the time that I can recall. Basically, Janet Jackson was performing with Justin Timberlake on stage, and she had some kind of brawl situation where it was basically like a suction cup. I don't really know how it worked. And somehow or the other, by accident or by, determination, Justin Timberlake was able to unlatch her suction cup bra or whatever, and there was a nip slip on TV. I was probably 7 or 8. I forget how old I was. Saw a nipple on live television. I didn't know what I was viewing. I remember my brother and he had some friends over. We're all like just astonished. I didn't know what I was astonished about. I was just reacting to what the older kids around me were paying attention to. It kind of went over my head, to be honest, as a child. But so that was a memorable halftime show. That we should have more halftime shows talking about nip slips and less halftime shows talking about politics. I think we'll be a better country and a better society. Anyways, other memories I have from the Super. I guess what I'm getting at with the Super Bowl, you can experience it however you want. You can watch it from a purist athletic lens, like it's two Super Bowl caliber teams going up against each other, and that's valid and acceptable. But inevitably, the Super Bowl, like I said, it's a holiday in this country. It's not just about football. It's about the food you make. It's about the drinks, the times with your friends and family. It's just like any other holiday, people. It really is. It's a national holiday. And it should be illegal to have to go to work on the Monday following the Super Bowl. Like, if your work is wondering why half the staff is not, in attendance, there's a cultural issue there at work. But I remember the first time I got drunk was during a Super Bowl celebration at a neighbor's house. I don't know where his parents were, but he had like a bunch of us over. There was a bunch of dudes drinking. We like raided the liquor cabinet. Yeah, I guess his parents didn't think we were going to do that. There was no child locks or anything. I think I was drinking like Absolute vodka and orange juice. It's the first time I've ever had a screwdriver, and probably one of the last times I've had a screwdriver. It's not my favorite drink, but got me pretty tipsy, pretty drunk for my age. So yeah, that was one good memory about the Super Bowl. Other like more wholesome memories I've had during the Super Bowl was going to my parents, or I actually lived with my parents for a while, but like when I lived there, I would take it upon myself to do the cooking. We would purchase like, I don't know, like 16 hot dogs, 15 burgers, whatever was on the grill. I'm grilling it all at once. I got all this food on this big grill. I think it was a Weber. And, I would have friends over. Definitely some beers were out there. And that was like, that to me is what the Super Bowl has been. It's been another way to bring community together, to share time with people that you care about. So that to me is where the Super Bowl lies in my heart. It's a fun time. It's not a time to argue with your neighbor about politics. Like, it never was like that ever in my entire life. I am in my 30s, people. This is the first time ever where the halftime show is being talked about for political controversy that has yet to happen. Ridiculous. Another fantastic memory in my mind about the Super Bowl is the first time the Philadelphia Eagles won in 2017/2018 season. What a great memory that was. I was downtown Philly with friends. We made it into a hotel that was hosting the Super Bowl. There was a projector. Everyone could watch the game together. TVs everywhere. Not an open bar, but there was a bar if you wanted drinks. We got really lucky that day. We had no prior plans going into the city. We go downtown Philly. Every bar has lines out the door. We can't get into a restaurant. We're like, shit, do we have to watch the game at a Chinese restaurant or whatever the hell it was that we walked by, just aimlessly looking for a place? And then we stumbled upon this hotel downtown Philly that was pretty much open to the public to watch. What a feeling it was to watch the Eagles win the Super Bowl. I know it wasn't their first championship technically, but it was their first official Super Bowl win. So historic in that fashion. We get out after the win onto Broad Street in Philadelphia. Crowds of people. Fireworks are going off. People are climbing the bus stop pavilion, wherever the hell that is, smashing the roof of it. People are climbing up on poles. There was definitely excitement in the air. Maybe it felt a little dangerous, but back in 2017, it wasn't as dangerous as it is today to go into the city. I know that wasn't that long ago, but COVID fucked up everything. So now, as crowds get together now, you don't think of it as a happy time. But back then, everyone was just good vibes. Everyone was having a good time. I didn't drink that night. I drank the night prior to that, so I was a little hungover. But I was still having the time of my life. So yeah, I guess what I want to leave with you, and who knows when I post this episode, so it'll be weeks to months after the Super Bowl. You'll hear this if anyone's paying attention to this channel. But what I want to leave you with, if you listen to this, is that I hope you have a good Super Bowl. I hope you have a good halftime viewing. And I want people to remember that as Americans, we should find more commonality with each other and less opposition. And it's not about who's right, who's wrong, who did what. It's about just enjoying your life, because we only have one life to live. And the Super Bowl should be an exciting and happy time, not one with controversy that affects you personally. And with that, I say goodbye and have a good day.